Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new then I wanted to introduce myself. My name's Rebecca. I'm a non-traditional medical student studying in Bristol. If you're returning to the channel then of course welcome back. In today's video I wanted to talk to you a little bit about 6 things that I had to stop doing or thinking in order to change my life. Now if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'll just give you a really brief rundown. I'm a non-traditional student, which means that I don't have a typical medical student background, which probably means or looks like having been to private school or having parents who are doctors and maybe just starting a little bit earlier in life. Myself, I grew up in children's homes. I had a mother who was not there for me as a child, let's say, and I started medical school when I was 37 years old. I left school with no qualifications and I then self-studied my GCSEs and did the Access to Medicine course. So probably very different to a lot of medical students, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way to start medical school. You know, it's whatever works for us. Fortunately, some of us have been given a different set of cards that have not been easy to manage and to deal with. But I always think that we have an option and a choice to find our way out of tricky situations. So reflecting back on where I was before starting medicine, or even making the decision to start medicine, and where I am now, there are certain things that I had to just stop doing that were keeping me in that space of almost being a victim, you know, blaming the past for where I was in life, or blaming resources for not progressing with my goals. So I wanted to share those with you, and I do recognize a lot of these on the emails that you send to me, and I think sometimes it's just a case from a place of non-judgment that a third party points those things out to us. It may become clear why we are stuck in a rut, and maybe I can give you some tips on how to actually make some decisions to get closer to your goals. So I hope this video is useful. If you haven't done so already, then please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave me a comment. First thing that I always used to do before making the decision to study medicine, I had a goal. I would find an excuse that would give me a reason why I had to quit. And these excuses were simply because I didn't want to put the work in order to pursue that goal, because that goal wasn't important enough to me. Trust me when I say these excuses were ridiculous, and I look back now and I'm glad that I did make those excuses at the time, because they were leading me, the goal that I was trying to pursue was probably leading me down a path that just wasn't right for me. So the excuses that I used to make were things like, I don't have enough money, or I'm running out of money, I just need to stop. And actually when I think back now, and when I think about my current financial situation, that is such an easy problem to overcome. You just get a second job, or you work more hours in your current job. Never let finances stop you from achieving your goal. So I study medicine, and I also do 12-hour shifts at weekends at the hospital as a nursing assistant. And I'm so grateful for that job because it allows me to keep studying medicine. Whereas before, I would have used that as an excuse. And it sounds so ridiculous now, doesn't it? I don't have enough money. I'm running out of money. That's the problem. And I would just say, I have to quit. But why didn't I just say, okay, I'm going to just work more, I'm going to get another job? No, that's just that option is just too easy. I'm just going to quit. And then I would complain that I couldn't achieve that goal because of money. So that I would just constantly find things to blame so that I wouldn't have to pursue that goal. You know, we can always look at things that we don't have, but actually we can always get them. So for example, for many years I would say, well, I can't go to university because I don't have the right qualifications. I can't go to university because of my background. I can't go to university because I'm not smart enough. But I would never do anything to change that. I would always just make excuses as to why I couldn't do something. I can't lose weight because, you know, I don't have time to go to the gym, or, you know, I can't do this or I can't do that. And actually, now I just say, okay, this is my goal and everything is within my control to achieve that goal. If I want to gain muscle at the gym, I need to get to the gym. If I want to lose body fat, I need to stop eating so much. If I want to get an extra GCSE, I need to sign up to a course and sit that GCSE. If I want to get into medical school, I need to work 2 jobs maybe and study my backside off in order to get to medical school. And that's what we all have to do. And for many years, I just made these excuses that kept me in jobs that I didn't enjoy. And I could have been doing this many years ago if I would have just gotten rid of these excuses. So maybe just have a look, and we're all guilty of it. And again, this is coming from a place of non-judgment. Maybe have a look in your own life and catch yourself. You know, when you have these negative thoughts and you catch yourself thinking or even saying out loud, I can't do this because. Write those things down. Once you can pinpoint those areas, then you can start working on them. If it's a money thing, find a solution. If it's not having the right qualifications, find a solution. If it's not having the support, find a solution, because there always is a solution. So many of the conversations that I had when I decided to pursue GCSEs and the Access course went something like this. So I would call colleges to see if I could study A-levels. And I talk about this in my very first video back in January last year. And I called up one of the colleges because I wanted to do A-levels instead of the Access course. This is what she said, pretty much word for word. She said, Rebecca, I teach some of the most intelligent students in the UK, and even they don't get into medical school. Let me just say that again. Even they don't get into medical school. I think this is going to be very unlikely. Then I told my really good friend that I wanted to study medicine, and his stepdad said, these were his words, well, that's very unlikely, isn't it? And it was like that. And I can't remember many people being supportive of that decision to study medicine, because it was so out there. You know, if you would have taken my starting point and said, okay, this person has no qualifications, she's 35, blah, 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 will she be a doctor? No, of course not. So I understand where these people are coming from. So one thing that I had to do was stop listening to the opinions and the comments of other people, because it's hard enough to convince ourselves that we can do something which is life-changing for us. I had to start just listening to my own heart, to listening to my own intuition, and even just stop listening to the negative voices in my head, because everything and everyone was telling me that I couldn't do this, but my heart was saying that this was my calling. So I had to stop. I just had to say, thank you for your opinion, which is pretty much pointless, but thank you for taking the time to give me your feedback. But I feel that this is right for me, so I'm just gonna move forward anyway, but thank you. And that's it. And it's really hard, isn't it, when we've got people in our immediate family and friends that want the best for us and they want to keep us safe. And especially if you have a partner or a spouse that is saying things like, you know, if you do decide to go back to university, then, you know, our relationship is over. You know, what do you do in that instance? It's really tricky, I do understand, but what is your purpose? If you are here and you want to study medicine, or you want to do something else in life, and your heart is telling you to move forward, then you have to move forward. I had many stories in my head, those negative voices that would tell me that I am just not smart enough to study to become a doctor. I had my mum's voices in my head telling me that I would never amount to anything. I had voices from social workers that looked after me as a teenager. I had so many negative voices in my head and stories that were keeping me stuck in this vicious cycle of being in a job that I was unfulfilled in, but it paid for me to live in a nice place. And I knew that in order for me to move to the next level in my life and to be able to follow my calling, which I truly believe is to become a doctor, I had to change my mindset. I had to change those stories. And the only way for me to do that was to go to counselling. The story that I mainly had in my head was, you're a care leaver. Like, people who grow up in care do not go to university. Not possible. And it was just this constant loop of doubt and stories. And after a while, I just thought, I have to change the thoughts that I'm having in order for me to pursue this goal. So the first thing that I did was I just stopped paying attention to those thoughts. I just thought, they're just thoughts. I have an option: either I listen to them and I believe them, or I ignore them. And I just ignored them. I literally just thought, that's a thought, let it wash away, don't listen. And I sought help, and I sought counselling to help me kind of rewire my brain. And it helped me so much, because I understand now that we have a choice. We can listen to those thoughts and we can allow them to control our entire life, or we can use them to our advantage and reprogram our mind to think thoughts that are more positive and more fulfilling and more beneficial to us. Comparing ourselves to others is very common, especially when we want to do something like go back into education at a later stage, because most people start a degree when they're fresh out of school. Especially when you want to do something like medicine, because again, medicine typically is for people who are quite privileged. So when I made the decision to study medicine, I had to stop comparing myself to others, because I knew that I would be the black sheep. I would be completely different to pretty much every single person on the course. And even if there were other people on the course who were my age, I knew that my background would be very, very, very different to most people. So I had to just stop comparing my skills, my personality, who I am as a person, what I want to achieve in my career as a doctor, versus those who were on the course. And if people ask me, what do your parents do, or what did you do before, I had to change my mindset with regards to, okay, I'm not going to be able to tell them that I did a biochemistry degree. I'm not going to be able to tell them that my parents are doctors, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. This is my background, and I wouldn't share it with everybody that asked me, but this is my background. This is what I did before. These are the jobs that I've had. These are the skills that I bring to the table. And yes, I'm a little bit older, and that's fine. Not everybody's journey is going to be the same. And I think we need to stop looking at what society expects of us and follow the rules as such. Just because we didn't go to university at 18 or even in your 20s or 30s, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do everything according to the way society thinks that you should do things. You don't have to get married if you don't want. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to buy a terraced house. You don't have to live in the same country 365 days a year. You can do whatever you want to do. Don't compare your life. Don't compare yourself to anybody. You are unique. You are unique. And what you bring to the table is so needed. But we have to come and be authentic and not try to change ourselves to fit in with society. What is needed are more people that bring their authenticity. And there are many quotes that say this, but it allows other people to do the same, rather than trying to make ourselves small and trying to or being ashamed of our past. No. Be proud of it. You know, I'm 37, well, I'm 39 now, but at the beginning of my journey, I'm 37 and I'm starting this medical degree, and I come from this background. I'm not the same as everybody else, and I'm proud of it. A few people have messaged me as well about how to overcome failure. And again, one of the things that I was always thinking about starting this journey is, what if I fail? What if I start GCSEs and I actually can't even get the grades to get into university? What if I start this access course and I fail? What if I do 4 years at medical school and I can't sit my finals? I can't pass my finals. What's the point? You know, is it even worth me trying? That was my attitude before. And then one day I just thought, I'm just gonna go all in. I'm gonna go all in. Burn the boats, do or die. And I've made a video about this. I burned the boats and I got rid of every single plan B. And I said, I'm gonna put everything into this. I'm gonna put everything into this. And then if I do fail, then at least I know I've done everything humanly possible to achieve this goal. And if I fail, then I'm just going to take this as a learning experience and then move on. But I'm not going to sit here and worry about something that has not even happened yet. I'm going to put everything into it. And that's what I did. And I succeeded, and I got the right grades at GCSE, and I commuted for 6 hours to get to Manchester on a weekly basis, twice a week, 3 hours there, 3 hours back. I worked 2 jobs at the same time. I put everything into it. I had no money, didn't even have a washing machine. I succeeded, and I was accepted at medical school, first application. And in 2 years from now, I'll be a doctor. Put everything into it. It's also easy to base the future on our past experiences, on our past failures. So rather than seeing things as, okay, I tried this when I was maybe in my 20s or 30s, and the result was, you know, it didn't work out, and that could be a job or a relationship, and I've learned a lot from it, and it's actually allowed me to grow as a person, and I'm just going to take the lessons and move on. What we do is we base our future on our past. So this was my past. This is the type of upbringing that I had. I had no money. I've always been in jobs that I didn't enjoy. So this is going to be my future. That was my mindset as well for many years. I would always base my value and my worth on my upbringing. People who grow up in care, and there are stats out there, approximately 5% go to university. And out of that 5%, 50% will drop out within the first year. So if you base where I'm supposed to end up on stats, I wouldn't be at university right now. But I wanted to break that pattern. I wanted to do it because obviously I want to be a doctor, but I also wanted to do it because I wanted to show people that you can break the pattern. And just because there are statistics out there that say that you won't go to university, let me show you that you actually can. And that was one of the things that I just had to stop doing. I had to stop looking at these statistics and what do people that have grown up in care usually do in life or don't do in life. It doesn't matter. You can't live in the past. Your past has happened. Today we all have a choice. Do we want to make our future different to our past? If the answer is yes, you have to think differently. You have to take different decisions. You have to surround yourself with different people. If we always do the same thing day in, day out, we're always going to get the same results. Insanity, right? So what do we need to do today, or what do you need to do today in order to live a different life tomorrow? You might need to change who you're surrounding yourself with. You might need to change your mindset. You might need to move country. I don't know. But start thinking about the things that are holding you in the past. That could be simply thoughts. Maybe we need to get some therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. But start to become aware of the things that are holding you in your past, and just realize that in this very moment right now, you can start making decisions to live a different life. It's not too late, and it doesn't matter how old you are or how little money you have in the bank. You can still make a decision to have a completely different life and to be more fulfilled and to be happier. And it doesn't matter who you are or how old you are or what you've been through or the mistakes that you've made. You are so worthy of having a life that is satisfying and fulfilling to you. So the next video that I'll be making will be next week, and it'll be 5 things that I started doing in order for me to change my life. So watch out for that video. Please subscribe to the channel, and I think you can click the bell next to the subscribe button so you'll get a notification when that video is released. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and just remember that you are worthy. Don't compare yourself to others. Just always think from a place of the heart and intuition, and think about what you want to achieve to help other people, but also just to make yourself happy. Just a reminder to help me grow the channel and support the channel, subscribe, like and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.